How can the laity inspire fellow sinners to seek the radiance of the Holy Spirit? We can easily identify with God the Father and the Son. However, many seem distant to the Holy Spirit. There's a great book on the Holy Spirit which I love. It's not a Catholic book. It's written by a man who's pretty Catholic, though, in his thought. It's amazing. But Francis Chan, Chan, he has a book called The Forgotten God. The Forgotten God. And it's really a great book about, the reason it's called The Forgotten God is a lot of people have forgotten the power of the Holy Spirit. And so he talks about the history of the Spirit, the power of the Spirit in our own life. And one of the examples I've used again and again is he talks about, let's say someone wants to be a great football player, and they're saying, I want to be a great football player, and they're praying, God, let me be a good football player. Please, I want to be a good football player. And God appears to him and says, what do you want? And he goes, I want to be a great football player, God. And he says, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to live inside of you, and I'm going to play football in you. So, if that happens, you think that person would be a great football player? He'd be the best as long as he can get out of the way and let God play football through him. Well, God says to us, I want you to be a best Christian ever. And to do that, I am going to come and live inside of you. And so our job is to get out of the way and let Jesus live his life through us by the power of the Holy Spirit, right? Again, those of you who know me knows my favorite verse of the Bible, which will be on my gravestone. I died at 120 because the good die young, is Galatians 2:19 and 20. Some it's just Galatians 2:20, but it says, I have been crucified with Christ. So the life I live now is no longer my own. Let me say that again. The life I live now is no longer my own. Jesus lives inside of me. Again, Jesus lives inside of me. I still live my human life, yes, but it's a life of faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave his life for me. Do you really believe that Jesus Christ lives inside of you? That you are the tabernacle of God? Do you really believe that? Because that's what he said. Is Jesus a liar? I no longer live, says St. Paul. Jesus lives inside of me. And Paul, again, we've talked about, never heard Jesus give a homily, never saw him perform a miracle. His whole experience of Jesus was a resurrected experience that we can also have. But that's going to happen in our prayer. It's just why it's so important to pray. And again, if you have problems praying, wake up earlier. It just, this morning I was up at 3:55 in the morning. Why? So I could pray. Because again, like today, I had all these plans today, and the Lord took me in different ways that I was not expecting this morning. I had all this. I have to get my taxes done. I still don't have them. I said, okay, I'm going to dedicate the day to do my taxes. Didn't have a chance at all to do my taxes today. So that's why the very first thing I do every morning is give my time to God. Period. So if you're struggling with prayer, wake up earlier. What do you wake up for in the morning? Do you wake up for a job? Do you wake up to eat? Do you wake up just for your family? Or do you wake up for God? Wake up for God. You don't have to wake up at 3:55. You don't have to wake up at 4 o'clock. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. Take 10 minutes earlier than what you're doing now and give that 10 minutes to God. Just start with God. And again, the best way, in my opinion, to do that is to go with the Bible, ask before you get out of bed, ask the Holy Spirit to speak to you through his word, pray to the Holy Spirit, then open up the word and read until God speaks to you. And again, the way you know it's of him is it gives you peace. Then write that on a piece of paper and then put it in your pocket if you can't remember it, and then talk to God all day. Before you listen to the world, the flesh, or the devil, listen to God. Let him be the first one to speak to you. Not yourself, not others, God. And if you start your day listening to God, you'll learn to listen to him throughout your day. But if you don't start your day listening to God, it's going to be very hard to listen to him throughout the rest of the day. So no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, start your day with God. That means waking up earlier. Wake up earlier. You can do this. I know you can. It'll transform your life. First, God. Everything else after God. Okay?